Hi friends, it's Movie Man with you again. Today I want to tell you the plot of the 2022 movie Awakener. Make yourselves comfortable, we're about to begin. There are protests near the governor's residence. The crowd is shouting slogans and the police are trying to disperse it. Meanwhile, inside, guards are trying to hide the governor. There is the sound of breaking glass. To keep the official safe, he is led into the office. The crowd pelt the building with Molotov cocktails and a confrontation with the police begins. Gunshots ring out. The governor is terrified and hides under a desk in the office from where tear gas is fired. The sounds of fighting can clearly be heard outside. The governor blocks the table with chairs. The door opens and he is discovered by a man in a gas mask, the Punisher. Members of a special military unit are equipped for the operation. They drive to the governor's house. At this time, he is quietly making coffee and reading a newspaper. The article tells about hundreds of thousands of patients waiting for surgery in state hospitals, but the governor himself avoids the topic. The soldiers show the gate guard the warrant and calmly enter the governor's house. Watching them, the governor drinks coffee. Even when the unit begins a search, he does not get nervous but offers the men coffee. The governor remains calm even when he is brought to the police station and greets the other officers politely. In the evening, one of the fighters, Miguel, is watching the news. The anchorwoman tells him that the governor has been called to testify about his involvement in the embezzlement of health funds. Miguel is angry and clenches his fists. His daughter sleeps next to him. Miguel moves her to the bed. She wakes up, asks to put her iPod next to her, and then asks if her father really arrested the governor. Bandit. The girl is proud of her father. The governor is being questioned this morning. He refuses to say anything without a lawyer. Miguel reminds him that the healthcare system has been underfunded by over $2 billion. Does the governor have nothing to say? The governor claims that no errors were found in the reports, and any problems with healthcare are due to the incompetence of his predecessor. Miguel asks how the governor sleeps at night with the realization that he stole money and condemned many people to death. Miguel smiles in response and tries to leave, but Miguel turns on an audio recording of the governor's conversation, in which he orders him to cancel the operation to arrest him, bribe the Supreme Court, pay whoever he wants, and even kill those who refuse to take the money. The governor's lawyer arrives. The chief sends Miguel and his companion to rest, as they have done a good job already. Miguel wonders if the governor will get away with it, but the evidence is too strong. In the evening, Miguel's mother comes to pick up her daughter. She thanks Miguel for looking after the child and wants to talk to him about the soccer match. Miguel says that he and his daughter will watch it at home, but his ex-wife agrees to let them go to the stadium. In prison, the governor eats sushi brought to him by his lawyer. The governor clarifies whether the people realize that he is innocent. The lawyer nods. The governor promises to start a witch hunt as soon as he is released. The head of a special unit sends his men to help relocate several dozen families from an emergency house. Because of the potential for conflict, Miguel objects that this is not their specialty, but the chief interrupts him. The fighters go on a mission, but Miguel's comrade says that he can manage without him because Miguel was going to a soccer game. Thanking his partner, Miguel leaves. He is late to meet his daughter. However, he brings her a Brazilian national team jersey. They are photographed and rush to the match. Around go the same fans, clappers sound. But suddenly there is a shot, and the bullet hits the girl. Miguel runs with his daughter to the hospital, but there are not enough doctors. The operation is not started, and the girl dies. A little later, the girl's mom comes running into the hospital. They cry together. Meanwhile, the court releases the governor. Despite all the evidence and accusations, sometime later, Miguel's friend comes to his apartment. The man is grieving. The friend says that he checked everything and did everything he could, but he could not figure out who killed the girl. Anyone could have shot her from anywhere. Miguel is sure that his daughter was not killed by an accidental bullet, because the hospital did not even try to help. The girl died from simple blood loss. A friend suggests Miguel take a vacation. Miguel cries and listens to music on his daughter's iPod. At a press conference, the governor declares that he has nothing to fear because the health of the nation has always been his priority, and the fact that he is being intimidated only gives the governor the strength to continue his work. He assures that he will not let the people down, even when he becomes president. Resistance provokes riots. Miguel watches a news conference report, stopping while jogging in front of a store window. A rock flies into the window. The guy joins the crowd of protesters, but as he gets closer to the police cordon, the cops beat him up. In response, one of the protesters throws a Molotov cocktail at the police, and they retreat. A real clash begins. The police use tear gas and Miguel coughs, but at that moment, a protective mask falls near him. Miguel puts it on and turns into the Punisher. Thanks to his fighting experience and skills, Miguel breaks through a line of police and infiltrates the governor's residence, where he finds him under his desk. The governor tries to bribe him, assuming the guy is working for his political rivals. But it doesn't work, and Miguel beats the man to death. Later, Miguel's comrade tries to identify the perpetrator who killed the governor from the CCTV footage, but fails. The detained protesters are brought to the police, and one participant spots Miguel and recognizes him. Miguel also looks at the girl and realizes everything. Miguel's superior announces that they will be looking for the masked man, and through him, those interested in the governor's death. The interrogation of the detainees begins. Miguel volunteers to deal with them and says he will start with the girl named Nina. He interrogates her and finds out that the girl is a hacker, but works at a comic book store. Her mom was convicted of fraud. They argue. But during their conversation, they discover video evidence on the girl's phone, as well as a copy stored in the cloud. So even if Miguel deletes the video from the phone, it won't help. Members of the party that belong to the governor are discussing who they will put in place of the assassinated man in the coming election. They eat marbled beef, laugh, and enjoy life. The head of the party, Antero Gomez, offers to nominate his son, who has no criminal record, and threatens everyone that otherwise he will influence the enforcers and party members will go to jail. Everyone agrees to the proposal. Miguel finds Nina's cell phone among the confiscated ones, looks at the records, and lets the girl go. His companion is surprised because it is not supposed to do so. Meanwhile, Nina goes to work, where she searches the network for all available information about Miguel. When the girl goes home, Miguel breaks his car next to her, offers to talk to her, but Nina does not agree until the guy blackmails her with the information in her phone. Nina, as the hacker, is sought by the police. Miguel says he just needs the names of the others who were involved in the governor's criminal scheme. Nina hacks into the governor's laptop, and Miguel gets the information he needs. He sets up a hideout in an abandoned building, and one by one he takes out the corrupt officials. Information about this appears in the news, and part of society supports the actions of the Punisher. The police chief is outraged that they still cannot catch a lone killer, and Miguel's friend begins to suspect that the Punisher is a police officer. Too clean he works. To eliminate the new target, Miguel is going to infiltrate the skyscraper where the minister will be. While he is heading there, his comrade suddenly realizes who exactly will be the next victim and sends Miguel a message, asking him to come to the place urgently. But the guy doesn't notice the communication. He's already making his way into the building. Nina coordinates his actions. Meanwhile, the minister meets with Antero Gomez, and the latter offers her a bribe to stop harassing politicians as part of an anti-corruption operation. However, the minister refuses the money. At this point, Miguel's comrade arrives on the scene, and Nina tries to warn Miguel. At the same time, his comrade calls him. This creates interference, and Miguel accidentally bumps into the comrade in the hallway. A chase through the building begins, resulting in Miguel being wounded. The minister remains alive. Miguel calls Nina and asks the girl to stitch up his wound because he can't reach it himself. Then they discuss the next target, Antero Gomez, but he is very difficult to get close to. Miguel needs a vacation. The police chief also cooperates with the corrupt politicians and calls Antero Gomez the mastermind. Meanwhile, of the officials, he is the only one left alive. The police chief realizes that the Punisher is not acting alone. He is assisted by some hacker who controls the surveillance cameras. And although Miguel and his comrades, the rest of the staff, discover new information about the machinations of the late governor, their superiors order them to shut down the operation to investigate corruption. So ordered by the minister due to lack of evidence. The only thing to concentrate on is the gas mask killer. Everyone is outraged. During a dinner party, Antero Gomez, surrounded by his new underlings, discusses his son's future run for president. The boy gets nervous and runs out of the room. Afterward, he says he's not ready for that kind of responsibility. Father and son talk. Miguel keeps Antero Gomez at gunpoint, but at the very last moment, the guy suddenly hugs his father, and the bullet hits him. Despite the death of his son, Antero Gomez decides to turn the situation in his favor and run for president. Meanwhile, his men find out where the hacker who helped the Punisher was operating from and come to the comic book store. However, Nina is not there, and her colleague dies instead. The girl, after some time, enters the store and runs out of there in terror. She is being followed. Meanwhile, Miguel's ex-wife comes to his friend and complains that the guy just disappeared after the death of his daughter. The guy is surprised, because Miguel said that he saw the girl several times. Moreover, he was with her at the time when his comrade caught the Punisher. Nina leads Antero Gomez's men right to Miguel without him noticing. A gunfight ensues. Miguel kills all but one of them. The one takes Nina as a hostage and offers a deal. The Punisher needs to kill Antero Gomez's rival during the debate, and then Nina will stay alive. When Miguel's friend arrives at the abandoned building, there is no one there. However, he finds an iPod and recognizes the gadget. It belonged to Miguel's dead daughter. The guy calls Miguel's ex-wife in for questioning and confesses to her that the Punisher is probably Miguel. During the debate, Miguel is about to fulfill his part of the bargain and kill his rival Antero Gomez, but is prevented by his comrade. They fight, and the comrade says he knows who is hiding behind the mask of the Punisher. Miguel takes off his gas mask, and the friends argue about what the vocation of a policeman really is and who the real enemies of society are. The comrade says he won't let Miguel kill a man. A gunshot sounds. When the broadcast is interrupted, Nina manages to kill her captor and free herself. Miguel is taken into custody. In the interrogation room, his ex-wife speaks to him and explains that the guy has gone completely insane, and their dead daughter could not live knowing what her father did and who he turned into. Punisher's actions unexpectedly provoke a very high turnout in the election. Antero Gomez wins. Miguel, who has been sitting in a cell all this time, is dragged to the interrogation room, where he is beaten by his former colleagues, and the police chief says that Miguel did not act badly. He just chose the wrong side, because corruption is an important part of the state system. The police chief leaves and orders his subordinates to finish. Then one of them kills his partner with a shot and is about to shoot Miguel, supposedly in self-defense after he killed the agent. After a short fight, Miguel gets the upper hand and frees himself, grabbing his gun and Punisher mask. He sets out to kill Antero Gomez, destroying everyone in his path. Miguel gets to Antero Gomez. The politician talks to him while stealthily loading his gun, but Miguel shoots before he finishes and then blows up the building with him. That's the short plot of the movie today. A classic tale of corruption and a desperate vigilante. What do you think about this movie and the main character? Share your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to leave your likes and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. By doing this, you help the channel and the video a lot in promotion, and motivate us to create more and more interesting content.